Yay! We're out of here! Yay!
Every time we do that, I think we're Fraggles.
I think we scare people because, like, sometimes I don't check my levels when I do it. It's just like, you're really excited to be here, aren't you? Okay. Welcome to the show. This is Mistress of Reads. We're a live show about books, about the dirty, about urban fantasy, or any book we want to talk about this week. And guess what? You lucky people. We hit the button and we started the show.
I know, right?
I have on me Boo that you just heard, and my name is O, and welcome to the show. So this week we have a glut of books. A dirty glut of books. But not dirty books, but mostly like normal books, which is unusual for us because we normally have a corny book thrown in there. But we don't this week. We were Good World. So This is the first week. The bad girls of booktube are taking a break. And we have mostly urban fantasy and what else? Mostly urban fantasy this week, right?
Yeah, mostly urban fantasy.
Yes. What are we going to do with ourselves?
I'll read more dirty books.
You know what? I actually have a dirty book on the back burner. It's called Kylie Scott Dirty, a dive bar novel. I feel like it's going to be when I go to read it, probably 2 to 3 hours from now. When I go to read it, I think it's going to be like super dirty. You know how biker books are super dirty?
Yeah.
They're hot, but they're also just dirty. Just there's something about them that's so HIV, hepatitis-y, just something about it's like disease. But and that's what rock and roll books are like too. Rock and roll books have that sort of herp,
Well, and you know where that comes from. It's because if anybody who ran around and was like a groupie during the days of hair bands, then most likely they do have hepatitis.
Yeah. Well, my friend was a roadie he was actually an underage roadie too. And his dad was part of the union. And he, you have to have union people set all that stuff up for insurance purposes. You know that, right?
Yeah.
No union, no go. So he was actually part of that group. And there was something about it that the lady described what went on. It was just dirty. It was just dirty. Like, why would you do that? Well, I know it sounds pretty, but you know what I mean?
I actually do know what you mean. And I've heard some nasty ass stories. I actually, and it was even just the hair bands. Like, I have a friend back when we were in high school who ended up hooking up with Method Man one night. and like, oh my God, how can I put this? There are definitely shit that people will ask their groupies for that they won't ask their wives for. Let's just put it that way.
You remember what's his name who pooped on that child?
R. Kelly. Yes! I thought he just peed on her.
Oh, I just assumed he peed and pooped. Like he finished up the job.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. There's a lot of biker erotica popping up lately that is just crazazel.
It's really popular in Australia because they have a lot of bikers there too. And it's really popular in Australia and it's really popular in that kind of realm.
My issue with bikers is my same issue with pirates. I think of dirt and disease and body funk, and
I can deal with I can deal with bikers because eventually there's modern conveniences and there's a shower. I can't deal with pirates. I just can't because I know they don't. I don't know I know whatever disease, whatever chlamydia or whatever thing they got will not be cured. And I don't think that's sexy. When I think pirates, I don't think, those old romance novels with all the pirates on the front crowd.
Yeah.
I can just see it in the waves of the chest and the flawless non-chest hair.
Oh my God.
Bronze skin.
Perfectly bronzed skin, no farmer tan.
Waving in the wind. And you just like, that's not the way it is. It's a lot dirtier than that.
There's lots of dirt. There's lots of funk. There's parasites. Parasites, man. Oh, parasites.
You realize how jaded we are?
I just like skeeved myself so bad. I'm sitting here just cringing.
Listen, I'm cringing with you. But now that we talked about that possible read, let me read the because I actually have it open. The last thing Vaughn expects to find when he enters his childhood home is a broken-hearted bride in a shower, let alone the drama and chaos that comes with her. Lydia doesn't know where to burn down the church or sit and cry in the car. Discover the love of your life is sharing an affair. I didn't realize this. I downloaded it because I read the other author's book, but finding out that the love of her life is actually been having sex with her best man.
What?
Yes. So I'm paraphrasing. So she's done with Mr. Right. Now she's going to get down with Mr. Down and Dirty and Mr. Wrong, maybe. So, but he's not, it doesn't seem like he's a successful musician. So that's even dirtier.
See, it's hard for me to even fantasize about broke men. Like,
I don't think he's broke though. He owns a bar or something.
Oh, you can sell property and be broke with my ex-husband.
Let's not bring that up on the show. Let's move on. Moving on.
I'm probably gonna finally pick up Stuck Up Suit. I've had it sitting there on the back burner for quite some time.
Let me add it on the list.
Sometime this week, I'm probably gonna burn through it.
I didn't enjoy it. See, I want you to read it because I want us to talk. You know how I like it when we talk. We need to talk, and I think that we have a new subscriber who read Stuck Up Suit recently, and she loved it.
Really?
She loved it.
I do love our subs.
And as much as I like our new subscriber, and she's also one. We'll talk. We will talk about Stuck Up Suit. It's a joint venture by Keeland and Penelope Ward, which I love Penelope Ward books. She has a way of writing really warm stories, and I like that even in the dirtiest way, it's still warm in a way, and it has shape and feeling, and also place. She's really good at writing place too, which you don't always see that in romance authors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Their settings aren't as important as the bubble. And instead of realizing how much of an impact, somebody's job and the world around them has on it. And sometimes authors don't realize that. And they just write these sort of bubble candy stories.
Oh, look, we're actually becoming big girls. We actually have almost 30 subscribers. Look at that.
I want to have a 50 subscriber event, but I don't know if we're going to get there. So we'll just keep our mouth shut and we're going to just knock on wood. Thank you so much for subscribing.
Thank you all for subscribing to us. And I really did just knock on wood. Don't play with me.
I mean, we must be having a knock on wood moment because there is no weird bird chirping. Oh, wait.
No, I hear you.
I ruined it. I ruined it. Okay. Let's go on. So you're going to read Stuck Up Suit. You're reading the audiobook version of Stuck Up Suit.
Yeah, I am. So I get to hear all the moaning and everything.
Oh.
Baby, I want you. Nah, nah. Sorry.
Hi. So you're also reading Chicagoland Vampires.
Yes. Oh, real fast for the audiobook version of Stuck Up Suit. The voice actors are Joe Arden and Maxine Mitchell.
I actually like the guy. I don't know. We'll talk about it when we get to it.
Okay.
Our friend actually, or our booktube friend, you might say, she actually has a more in-depth review that she's already done. And we'll put it in the show notes, come to think about it, because I actually liked her review, and I'm about to go holler at her and have a conversation about this book after you read it. Go holler at her. Just go holler at her. So check that out. I'll put it in the show notes. Check the bottom, please. Okay, keep going. Chicagoland Vampires, you read.
Chicagoland. So the first time I tried this book out was a bit ago. And see, it's I think I'm going through a literary reawakening or something, because I'm going back and I'm reading books that I hated the very first time I read them. And I with this one, it was before the same thing. I did it on audio, and seriously, don't give audiobook people a hard time. I multitask with my audiobook.
Yeah, I'm about that audiobook. I find that some books, like for example, Jane Yellow Rock series, it actually sounds better on audiobook than it does. It's actually quicker and easier to read than it is looking at the actual pages. Because Jane Yellow Rock is a type of book that's almost like a comic.
Yeah. Well, it's like Magic Stars, the offshoot series, the Lone Grey Wolf series that Lona Andrews has started. You know, the first time I read it was ebook greatness, and I loved it. But I had to have the audiobook and go back around and listen to it.
Our favorite reader, one of our favorite Becca Bateau, right?
Actually, it was a boy for Derek for this book.
No, but I could have sworn it. Oh yeah. It was her. It wasn't her. I'm so used to.
No, she's one of my favorites. I do have quite a few favorites. The main ones that pop up in my head right now is Rebecca Bateau and Marguerite Gavin, Fisher Stevens. I know it sounds odd because he doesn't really do the romance genre, but one of my all-time favorite authors is Christopher Moore, and he's just extremely versatile when it comes to doing Christopher Moore books. And Ewan Morton is another favorite voice actor that I like. But anyway, going on with Chicagoland Vampires. So I went back and I was like, you know what? I hated the first book of the Jane Yellow Rock series. I went back, I devoured the series. We're gonna retry Chicagoland Vampires. And at the same time, I was trying to do a back and forth book cleanse with Mercy Thompson in between. And what happened was I finished the first Mercy Thompson book, started Chicagoland Vampires book 1, and then I was gonna like go on to Mercy 2 after I finished book 1. Well, guess what happened? Finished Chicagoland Vampires 1, and I started like the first 100 to 200 pages of Mercy 2, and what happened? I ended up going back to Chicagoland 2 because I dig the snarkiness.
Well, I do actually understand the snark. At the same time, I think it's good to not mix. I try not to mix if I can help it. I try not to mix. You know what I mean? I don't like mixing. So
well, my mind isn't allowing you to.
Yeah, it's like
going against the urge to mix. It's like no, you're going to continue with this.
Yeah. Well, Chicagoland is actually a very long series. So you're in for the haul here with the Chicagoland Vampire series. I mean, it's like 10 books or something right now.
Well, Mercy's like 11.
Oh yeah. Like you found the mother lode there in the book series. It's almost as bad as that you remember Alex Craft, Alex Archer series, Alex Rogue or something like that. You know what I'm talking about? Graphic audio books, Alex Rogue.
I know. I can see the cover in my head. I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, it drives me nuts. Graphic audio. I mean, there's like so many of those books. It's like Alex Archer. And there's like over 28 books by various authors. It's the first 4 are from the author, and then the next like 20 or 30 are from like somebody else. It's like
that's like Wheel of Time. The Wheel of Time series. I think the original author wrote like the first like 10 or something like that, and then he passed away, and then they had other authors finish up the series.
Yeah, Rogue Angel, that's what it's called. They just
Rogue
beaten
Angel.
that.
Yeah, I actually
horse
saw like the cover in the back of my head with like red hair and a yellow background and like some craziness.
Yeah. I almost want to read Rogue Angel, but I think it's not urban fantasy. I think it's like time something or other. It's like time. It's like one of those timey books.
I think it's very, very sci-fi.
Yeah, it's like time travel or something. I don't know. I don't like time travel.
I'm not really a huge fan of time travel either, but I'm also not really a sci-fi girl. I'm a high fantasy girl.
If I had to choose, I can do sci-fi, but it depends on the sci-fi series. You know what I mean? It depends on the sci-fi series.
I remember we even had a conversation about this because you're like, how do you not like sci-fi be like Star Wars?
Yeah.
Fantasy. See?
No, I get what you're saying about they need to actually have a definition where they say sci-fi and then like sciencey sci-fi and then sci-fi fantasy. It's almost mysticism too.
Yep. Though they fuck it up with science, but that's okay.
Not a lot of science though. But okay, so you like the first book?
Yes.
Love the first book. Like the first book, not necessarily love though.
I don't know. Like, I always am drawn to alpha females in books, and she's not an alpha female. She's just like accepting who she is at this point. And it took like more than half of the book for her to say, you know what? Fine,
I'm a vampire.
Yeah, like, and it's like, and it because it was, I had no choice. Shut the fuck up. Suck it up. And it took like half the damn book for that to happen.
Yeah, but out of everything, she's like one of the least prepared heroines ever, except for the ballet, which is, it may be like, oh, she did ballet, but people like, ballet is no joke. Okay.
Like,
I don't know.
Totally.
Yeah, ballet's no joke. And a lot of the movements and the beats are the same, you know, so you can go from like gymnastics or ballet to martial arts to you know, you can do that. It's more than, you know, it's done more than once, you know. But at the same time, I never really felt that I never really felt that she had that bloodlust unless she was in her super vampire form. You know what I mean?
You know, like that the first time when her hunger hits and she's like wrapped around Ethan.
Oh, I loved it.
That
was like, yes. Yes.
I was like, give in.
We were actually,
all you want to give it.
You know, we were having a discussion about this. I told you, and you look, I could hear you give me the crazy look over the phone. But here's the thing: if it's a vampire book, there has to be bloodlust and blood and the sexuality of scent. And if it doesn't have those things, it's not a vampire book, because those are things that are heightened. Because you go from not being able to see and smell and have all these heightened senses and all these sexuality senses and, you know, the scent to having everything, you know?
Life would suck for me if I became a vampire, because I already have a sensitive nose. Yeah. So I would be like huffing coffee beans like every step 24/7.
Yeah.
We just have like an over the nose mask with coffee beans.
It's just like, I'm actually going to put that into a book now. But or at least I'm going to put that into research notes things at the very least. But here's the thing though. If you go from 0 to not being able to smell to then it has to be there. But so many books treat like vampirism like it's a hood or something. You know what I mean? It's like the vampire books aren't vampire books. They're like romance novels that happen to have a vampire theme. Woo! You know? It's like, I don't know. You know, there's like this huge encroachment of, you know, that P&R encroachment, that romance paranormal romance fantasy. And the problem is those paranormal romance fantasies, those world building elements and those basic lore elements aren't really there, or even character development moments. Your girl has never been a vampire before. Wouldn't she be somewhat overwhelmed by being a vampire when the vampiriness hit?
You think? Like for real though, like even thinking about it, I'm just like, oh, everything's gonna stink. I'm gonna hear shit I don't want to hear, like my neighbor's fucking. Man,
Ethan smells good though.
That was awesome though, because I was just like, come on, Ethan, give it to her. You know you want to give it to her. Give it to her.
Dope. Yeah, that's dope. Let's give me the blood.
And it's like, no, don't do it. She's already powerful enough. Like, oh, you have to give it to her now, just because they said no.
I wish she would. I wish she would have taken it just a couple licks. Like the Tootsie Pop.
For real.
She doesn't have to get all the way to the center, but she can get a taste.
A little drop on the tongue.
Girl can get a taste. I don't know why we're just so in love with the idea of this, but the whole twist with the end thing, spoiler alert, if you don't already know, get your ass out of here. Move on the tape. But the whole thing with the girl, I like that actually. I'm kind of sick of females being the bad guys in a sense, but I kind of like the way that book ended with the whole.
Unfortunately, females are catty bitches, and like not for nothing, but like I know I'm about to hit I'm gonna lose my girl card here in a second. But like, let's say you're on a desert island and it's you and 3 other females, and there's a candy bar. One of those bitches will steal that candy bar. Redo that scenario. You're on a desert island. It is you as a female. Another female. 3 males. You know who's going to steal that fucking candy bar? The female. It's just women are catty, and they will fuck you up before, like, quick as hell. Sorry. It's the truth. That's why I can't roll with bitches. I said it.
Well, fuck you too, bitch. Okay.
Yeah, you're not a typical bitch. You're guy like me, so. Yeah, that same twisted ass, like quasi quote unquote masculine mindset when it comes to certain things that we don't do that. Oh, how do you put it? You don't speak girl.
Well, I attempted a long time ago, but that didn't work out, so I just moved on with my life. Okay, so here's the thing. Gilmore Girls coming back in a supposed movie.
I have to rewatch the last season.
I don't think the last season counts because the people who were writing it weren't there because of the writer's strike. It killed Gilmore Girls.
I don't know. I thought it spiraled a little bit out of control as is, because it was like, here's Rory, and she's so smart and so cute, and she has this great relationship with her mom. And then next thing you know, like she's on this hardcore dating frenzy. And it's like, wait, what happened to the girl power here?
Well, the 2 writers who were writing it, I think they're husband and wife team. Can't remember. Not sure on that. I know it's 2 writers. They had a plan for Gilmore Girls. They knew where the beginning was, and they also knew how it ended. But the writer's strike hit, so they were going somewhere, and we never found out where the fuck they were going.
I mean, it's like what were they trading places? Like the mom slowed her roll, and the daughter became slutty. Like it was weird.
I have no idea where they were going with it.
She ended up doing that whole, I have to jump from relationship to relationship so I can feel empowered and validated. And I didn't like that.
I don't think anybody really liked it. But I want to see the movie. I want to see where it goes, even though the main dude is dead, and that makes me sad. I want to see where it's going to go for the movie, because I feel like I can trust them to pull off a movie. And certain people wouldn't sign on unless it was a good movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Especially
with Melissa McCarthy being such a big... Hopefully it doesn't become the Melissa McCarthy Gilmore Girls instead of her just doing...
It's really hard to do, because Sookie was a very much minor character. She was cute. She'd pop up here and there. say a little zinger, and then she'd like go back in the kitchen. So I don't know.
Well, I don't trust Hollywood when it comes to having star power, and they don't realize that how beloved the Gilmore Girls really is.
That was like the first, like I was a single mom watching the Gilmore Girls, and I was like, oh, I want my relationship like with my daughter to be just like that, because like we were living in Connecticut, in a creepy little town in Connecticut with strange rich people. Sound familiar? And my ex-husband was an irresponsible man-child. Sounds familiar? And I was like, oh, this is going to be our future. This would be great. You're going to go to an Ivy League school, and I'm going to be a strong, involved woman, and you're going to be strong and involved, and it's going to be awesome. And then they fucked up the show.
Well, it's coming back to Netflix. So it's going back to Netflix, and we really don't know right now. We don't know.
A bitter teenager who likes to draw and like envisions herself becoming the next Bruce Lee.
We don't know what's going to happen, but it's definitely a big deal. It's definitely, the supernatural dude coming back, Dean. It's definitely gonna happen. It's definitely, if the shit's real.
If the shit's real,
shit's real. The scripts are out there. They have the end back. They even have that Indian dude in the end. He was Indian, wasn't he?
I have no idea.
He was a black guy. He was a Indian dude playing a black guy, right?
I have no idea.
He had a weird facial construction. He wasn't all black, that's for sure.
But he could also be from the West Indies.
Yeah, that's when it's like something is going on in his facial. Something is going on. I can see it in my head, like drawing wise, and I just can't draw it. But the script is there. They have everything going. I'm gonna put the Vogue article about the Netflix arrival in the show notes. So if you aren't checking the show notes, you're a bastard, because I sit there and do it. So check it. If you're looking for something, you can always send me a message, but if you're looking for something, check the show notes. But
he'll start getting yelly, and then like I have to calm her down and distract her with like
yelly.
Okay,
I get yelly about books, and that is an excellent transition. I get very yelly about books. And Unleashing the Crows by Shelly Laurenston. Is it Laurenston? Okay. That's a really interesting last name, though, isn't it?
That is.
It's Anglo-Saxony, but coolly, And I love those tongue names.
It could be anything from Norse, like Norwegian-y.
Yeah.
To actually even no, I think it's really just mainly Norsy. Yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah, I like it. No, I like it. Okay, so Unleashing the Crows is like, we unfortunately did something stupid. And I did the first 100 pages of this book in audiobook. Not wise.
Really?
It was not wise. And you know why? And it was the first thing we started yelling about the Unleashing the Crows book.
There's just too many characters.
Too many characters. And on top of that, the characters don't read true to their personalities per se. You have a Marine woman who has some slight levels, some stage one PSTD, which is just a couple of dreams, nothing crazy.
What drove me up the wall the most about that, though, was
Valley Girl sound.
Oh, that voice actress.
So like a Valley Girl. Like, not a super Valley Girl, but like just a little too much.
Down and dirty in Iraq, and here I'm back now, former Marine, and I am being asked to be a warrior for Odin, but I can't go without my people.
You know, the funny thing is, though, I know a former army chick who does sound Valley Girlish, and she had multiple tours in Iraq, but she's from like the Valley, so she's from like the Sacramento Valley area. So I mean, it is kind of Valley, you know. Just saying.
This particular voice actress just reminded me of everything I hated about New England. Particularly Greenwich, Connecticut, and yeah, sorry all family members that are there, but yeah, not digging that. So like when I envision like, you know, a former Marine, multiple tours of Iraq, and she's just like I don't know, I keep visioning G.I. Jane. You know what I'm talking about? My beautiful.
She isn't exactly G.I. Jane, though, and that's her type of character. And I actually know people who are like that. The problem is that the voice actress, she was so distracting.
It just made it seem like she did her tour in Iraq wearing a tea dress and gloves. Like, that's what it seemed like. And it really drove me up the wall.
And everything was a question. Every line was a question.
That's my pit bull. Her name is what was the pit bull's name? Hawaii something.
Brody Hawaii. I actually like them.
Is it Brody Hawaii? But yeah, she
Brody Hawaii.
Drove me nuts. And like what made it worse, it's like, you know, she does the introduction for the book, and she sounds perfectly normal, and I could deal with that. And then it's just like I get like slammed into a brick wall the moment she starts the actual voice acting part, and I'm like, oh my god, I want to die.
In the next book, she somewhat calms down. It's not as bad, but I think I might be desensitized to it at that point. But I almost stopped. Okay, the first 100 pages of the book I read audiobook, and then I stopped and I started reading the ebook. And I actually started liking the book again because there's so much funniness in this fucking book. With the, you know, it's gaggy.
Oh, like what's her face constantly trying to beat her ex-husband to death. That's awesome.
It's gaggy. It's funny. Oh, in the next book?
No, the first book she does it too. Like she you'll hear, oh, so and so screaming at her ex-husband.
Oh, you're talking about the Asian chick and the leader. You know, there's so few books that have multicultural books that are actually popular with people who, you know, there's so much going on in this book series that, you know, I just enjoyed the fuck out of it. And the problem is, though, it's like eating bad ice cream that for some reason tastes good to you.
I've never had bad ice cream.
I've had cheap ice cream with like xanthan gum and like stuff I didn't really like in it. And for some reason they did something weird to it where it tasted good. Even though I look at the back of it and I look at the freaking alphabet soup on the back of the box, I'm like, God, this is terrible for me. You know, besides it being a shitload of sugar.
Yeah, because you need more sugar.
I don't need more sugar. But, you know, besides that, and you're like, oh, God, this is terrible for me. Mm-hmm. Rice Krispies to go along with it. Yummy.
Oh my god, it's so good. Actually, I already did my bad food for the month. We did home fries with pork belly and sauteed mushrooms and onions, and it was all sorts of bad. It was just, we don't do fried food that often, but when we do, we go all out. It was bad. Sometimes
I cook fatty foods just so I can have the fatty onions, you know, the fatty onion stuff.
Yeah.
I like the fatty onion taste more than I do the meat itself.
but and like I justified it to myself in my head. I'm like, well, we're using sea salt, so iodine salt, and you know, it's pork bellies and it's not red meat, and you know, like we're using organic potatoes, like a million and one excuses to justify this pan of just greasy goodness.
No, like no, just let it go. Oh, what is that? I used to have this prayer thing, this joking prayer thing. It's like this joke. May my ass get fatter and my waist get skinnier. You know? You're like, I can't stop this fat from layering, but layer it on my ass, Lord. Layered it on my ass.
I want my kid's body. She can eat anything, and not really, not really gain weight.
Well, she's at that age too.
Well, see, like, because she's currently 15, she's at that awkwardness that you would think that her ass could have just slid to the other side of that seesaw and just blew right the fuck up. But nope.
No, you don't start the slide to which way you're gonna slide until later on.
It also helps that I send her to martial arts 3 days a week.
No, you're gonna have to send her more when she starts driving.
Well, see, that's the interesting part, is that she'll be driving herself, so she has no choice but to go, because she knows I'll have her on low jack because I'm a slightly obsessive parent. But hey.
No, you need more calories. But back to the book. Okay, so need more burn for your calories. But the Unleashing the Crows, Call the Crows one. I like the Pantheon stuff. I like the Pantheon. I like the idea of all the other clans. I like the idea of everything. It was just presented so badly.
Yeah.
It was so overwhelming.
It was like someone dropped you into a party naked and you knew nobody and you had no way of escaping. That's what it's like for me.
It was like, I didn't understand what was going on. The voice actress compounded the situation by just a lot of our voices sounded the same. And first of all, many of the descriptions, although interesting enough, had they not been different colors, then we would have had even more trouble. It was compounding a lot of different problems on top of each other. I wonder if there is. I want a male version of the Crows, because I want like a nice, light brown black guy with like hazel eyes and just big as fuck.
Wow.
What?
Nothing.
I'm just the twins.
Oh my God. This chick sees the Hodge twins and has lost her mind.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan now. Just leave me alone. Don't judge me. Don't judge me.
I'm going to judge you.
Don't judge me. But she has other series.
Yes.
And we actually have her other series. And after reading this one, and I kind of don't want to read her other series.
Well, Dirty English is her book.
Dirty English is her book?
Uh-huh.
Is it in another name?
No. I believe it is her book. I'm looking it up just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure it is. No, you're wrong. I'm wrong. Sorry. I'm incorrect. I kind of read the same way, except slower.
Yeah, a lot of times these authors do have pen names.
Elsa Madden Mills. Wow, alliteration much? Yeah, that's her book. That was a nice book. But at the same time, it was love me. No, I can't love you. Except there was a guy going, love me, and her going, no, I can't love you. Love me. No, I can't love you. Let's have hot sex. Okay.
So her books are the Magnus Pack. Remember we saw the Magnus Pack? Okay, the Magnus Pack. Can't even speak so correctly, which I'm not really wanting to read. And Pride.
Yeah.
The main event. And those are her two books. And I think one's like a cat shifter of some type, which is my guess. It's like a cat shifter. The other one is like some other shifter book. Oh, and I think that the two universes actually might even link.
Speaking of cats and shifters and stuff, so someone blamed us for something. Miss Raven said it is our fault that she can no longer write yaoi. And I was like, good, we deserve a motherfucking Nobel Peace Prize.
Did your child in the background just cackle?
Yeah.
That was so evil. Oh, her training wheels are off.
I thought she was evil from birth.
Oh, God. So she can't write yaoi anymore.
Yeah, it's all our fault. We're terrible people for introducing her to erotica. Like erotica that doesn't involve two men and no women.
Yeah, but here's the thing, she can't, you can't be a part of the fun, If you, I don't mean to point that out, but you can't be part of the fun,
I don't even understand that whole concept. I really don't. Like a lot of women are into yaoi. A lot of yaoi is written by women. I don't get
I don't mind yaoi, but Girl was exclusively on yaoi, and there's a difference. I read some yaoi sometimes, but I don't exclusively read yaoi. I mean, that's not going to work out. I mean, I can't have fun too. I like my bookends, but I can't be exclusively, watching the show. I don't want to see why.
Well, I think with her case, I think she fetishized a lot of it, and I think that's probably what a good chunk of it is. Not a good chunk of it, like in my personal opinion of yaoi girls, and actually, being like maybe the one anime girl surrounded by strictly yaoi girls for a very, very long time. Was like, and asking, what's the deal? Why do you dig yaoi? And some of them will actually admit that they like one of the male characters so much they don't want to ever see them with a woman, so they'd rather see them with a man. I've gotten answers where, like what Raven said, well, it's taboo, so it's sexy. Who is it taboo to? To you? Because you don't have a penis? And I don't understand why it's sexy. Because I don't find it sexy, but that's just me. I don't get yaoi.
I don't think we're supposed to get yaoi.
I don't know. I guess I fail. I might have to lose my anime card because I don't do yaoi at all. I'm actually surprised my kid isn't into yaoi. Like she's like that perfect age for, oh my god, Hikaru Karu kiss, oh my god. The Orin High School Host Club reference for those who don't get it.
I actually want to watch Orin Host Club right now. Thanks. I haven't watched that show enough. I finally found an anime planet. Like they added that how many times you watched it thing. I just got so depressed. Because you can put 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. I'm like, I don't think I've enough time.
I was one of the early fan subbers for our high school host club back in the day, so I watched it a lot. And then my kid discovered it when she was 10, and it went downhill from there.
So you're not in love with the host club anymore?
Oh, I still love the host club, but I can't bring myself to rewatch it again. I've probably rewatched it more than I've rewatched Fruits Basket, and my love for Fruits Basket was pretty hardcore. So,
are they ever going to do a
There is another Fruits Basket called Another Fruits Basket, but it's completely different characters.
Are they going to do more host club?
I don't think so.
Like a college host club look?
Probably not. They've already finished off the manga. They've done a live action series as well as the anime. Plus, they did, I believe, 2 live action movies. So I think that's the end of Host Club period. And unless they do a revisit, let's see, Host Club's pretty old too. It's about what, 10 years old. So probably in a few more years, they'll probably do a revisit.
Okay, so we're gonna go the last one. So have you ever heard of Jennifer? I think it came Epps. I think it's Estep. Epps.
Yes, Epps.
Jennifer Epps. I can't remember. I listened to the audiobook and it says the author's name, and then I'm not remembering it sometimes. God, you suck.
Orin High School Host Club is actually 14 years old. So maybe in 6 years, there'll be a revisit.
I feel so dated. I almost want to see. I want to see what I shouldn't be able to see with Oren. I want to see the end, the total end. Like I want to. I don't know why, but you remember that one book series? Is it Yu Yu Hakusho? I
Yes.
can't remember. Where
Yes.
they went all the way to the end to the marriage point. I was so sickly satisfied that I was it's like a picking shit. So Yu Hakusho? No, I can't remember the name.
Yu
It's
Yu
the one.
Hakusho is Ghost Files.
Yeah, no, the one that turns into like a girl.
Ranma one half.
Yes, and the last Rama when they got married.
You know, it was really cute. Lily was really, really small when I was watching Rama, like really, really small. And she learned the word baka, and she ran around the house going baka, baka, baka. And daddy was baka, and everybody was baka except for mommy, because mommy is awesome because I give her good food. But everybody was baka. Mm-hmm. And then she learned the baka song because a friend of mine kept playing the baka song, and I had like a toddler running around baka, 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 baka. It was so cute.
Yeah, but baka is a good word though.
But yeah, Rama one half was actually pretty good. I had a lot of fun with Rama one half.
Yeah, I love Rama.
Now see, that one should be one of the ones that comes back, but
no, they're married.
Yeah, but they can still do a revival.
I don't want them to revise. It's already, I don't want to reboot.
Yeah, but that's, business platform wise, that could actually make more money for the publisher since it is a classic, and it'll be like the kids who grew up with Rama, it'll be their kids growing up watching Rama.
Dude, they're just gonna make her tits bigger.
Actually, they might make her tits smaller.
Really?
Think about it.
They were actually pretty big to begin with.
Yeah, they make them bigger. The girl ain't gonna have a head. Even Lily's like, huh.
I was actually so. The funny thing is it that the thing about Ranma was that the scenes where they just had Rama just looking in the mirror and just playing with the tits. It was so boy, and I was like, oh god, can you just keep? And then it turned into like everybody else playing with it. Oh my god, this can't be good.
There are so many great anime classics that I would not like. Okay, I loved Inuyasha. Inuyasha was definitely one of my favorites. One of my first cosplays was Kikyo, and I like it just ended like a few years ago. Like ended, and when maybe 10, 20 years from now, I wouldn't mind seeing an Inuyasha revival.
I think they did such a good job. Its art styling, its use of color, everything was always really on point with Inuyasha, though. It's one of those really well developed series. Sometimes the series, travels, and it's like a lot of like American cartoons. Their style travels, from where they start.
Well, like you can see when the artist, especially if you're a big manga reader, you can see when as the artist grows, like the difference in the art style and such.
Yeah, but it was such a developed style to begin with. You know what I'm saying? It was such a beautiful style to begin with. There's this one series about Mongolian. You know what I'm talking about? The Mongolian travelers.
Well, I wanted to tell you this real fast. Yeah. Well, you know that we are talking about the same artist for two different mangas, right? The same artist for Inuyasha is the same artist for Rama one half. Same artist for Aiken Mason, Mermaid Saga, Roommate Theater.
That was some real travel. I mean, it must be old as fuck.
They're currently working on Rennie. So yeah, they've been around for a very, very long time.
That's a one traveling art style, though.
Yep.
Really evolutionary.
So, and it's like long too. Like, I personally believe that Inuyasha and Aiken Mason are probably two of the longest running mangas in history. And I've told that I'm wrong because of Dragon Ball Z. So the Dragon Ball Z is several different series, children. So I don't really think it counts. But yeah, what do I know?
I'm okay.
There's Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, then there's just basic Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball GT was an abomination, by the way. That's right.
Let's get away from this topic. Let's get away from the topic. And oh, right, the Cold Magic series. Let me go back to Cold Magic. I'm gonna try to find it. Cold Magic. Oh, I can't find it now.
Oh, you know what? See, we got so caught up in talking about my favorite. Jennifer Estep. I actually have seen this book a few times, probably on your Goodreads. But we got so caught up.
I read her author, so it probably prompted you, because I read it and we're friends on 2 accounts. So it probably, prompted you that you might like this, because I have mixed feelings. I don't like YA. There's a lot of YA that leaves something undesirable, and it spends a lot of time in love triangle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's love triangle because you can't have sex, or just have sex and move on. Hey, I would rather you just get down instead of doing the love triangle, because the love triangle is not fun.
And after a while, it starts to become Anita Blake.
I wish. The worst part is it doesn't become Anita Blake. A lot of times they just keep teasing the love triangle. Do you like the love triangle more? Pick a team. It's like, oh, I'm tired.
I don't want to pick a team.
I'm just tired of your love triangle. But I think what I'm going to probably read is her other series. I'm going to go back to it. It's another YA, because she's doing YA pays. Because they finally figured out how to sell these YA books to kids now. Thanks to Twilight. Thanks to Twilight. But
child services call.
Yeah. But Cold Burn of Magic, it's a Black Blade series, because it's actually well rated. It's really well rated for people who are Jennifer Epps fans. It's actually one of her better books so far, like world-wise. It's very interesting. It's only going to be 3 books, supposedly. And the last book comes out in like 4 days. And good time to start the series when it's over.
That's going to be easier to binge.
Yeah, I'm going to try to push my way through the whole series. It is more YA, kind of young adulty YA-ish. It's like a betweener. And I kind of like that, because it has adult concept with adult themes. It's gory. It's nice and gory. It's got a meaty, gory mix. And I like that. I like that meatiness. I like being grossed out when I read a book where it has fighting and stuff. I don't want it romanticized. I want it to be vicious. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
And if that viciousness isn't there, I don't know. I know it turns off a lot of female readers, but I prefer it. And in most of the series that I see that are popular, it has it. So hint, hint. Bitches might say they don't want it, but bitches be wanting it.
Now, we forgot to mention. So I watched Kingsman Secret Service last night.
Yes, I tried to watch 50. I tried to watch the 50 Shades of Black.
That movie is hilarious.
I haven't gone back to it yet, but I'm gonna finish it at some point. It's so much. It's such a glut.
But Kingsman. Kingsman Secret Service was really, really good. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna watch something. I want to fall asleep as I'm watching it. No big deal, because it was like on Xfinity. And then I wasn't falling asleep, and I'm watching it, and I'm cracking up, and I'm watching it. Though every time Samuel L. Jackson had that little lisp, I wanted to slap the shit out of him.
But that's the point. That was the point. That was the point. You can't. He's scary, but at the same time, he's funny. And it's a weird sort of Austin Powery sort of dichotomy there.
And I'm so glad that they didn't go like that stupid romance thing between him and Lancelot. I was so happy about that. I hope that one day there'll be a sequel.
Well, it has to be a sequel. When you have anal sex, you can't just leave that hanging in the wind.
I love that though. We saved the world. We could do it in the asshole. I love all the head explosions. And
yeah, but that's also so
it was well done.
It's exactly what a Scandinavian girl would say. Sure, get it down.
It was great. Like, oh no, it was great. And I hope that there's a sequel. And
well, it's supposed to be from the person who did Kick-Ass, isn't it? From like the director or somebody who did Kick-Ass.
No idea.
So maybe we'll get something. Hopefully, we'll get something because I like the idea of it.
Too. I have yet to go see Kick-Ass too.
It's okay. It's okay. I honestly, to be honest, I like the comics more, even though it's hyper homophobic. I like the comics more. I just do. I don't know. I love the way the art styling looks, and I don't think the art styling, I know you hate Daredevil.
I don't like I liked the movie Daredevil. I don't like the series Daredevil, but for two different reasons. The series Daredevil makes me feel flat. It doesn't give me a feeling of suspense or excitement the way most like superhero movies would. The Daredevil movie actually did, but my favorite part of that whole movie was Elektra. So
but Elektra was it was actually good casting on Elektra. But here's the thing about Daredevil though. The thing about Daredevil is that it has art style. It's one of the few hyper art style, since Sin City and 300, a hyper art style sort of comic booky feel with the color and the things like that. It has that look to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
I felt like Kick-Ass didn't have that, even though the Kick-Ass books do. That's what I want. I want that comic booky look, even though that the mainstream audience doesn't appreciate it. But the thing about it is the shadows and things like that actually tell a story onto themselves in comic book world. And I don't know, maybe I'm just being a little I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so dun 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 dun
dun dun
dun dun. Okay. So we are going to need to read something porny next week.
I will have something, I'm sure.
Are you going to read the dirty book with me?
Which one?
The one that's like herpes waiting to happen, the dive bar one.
Oh, yeah. I guess I can do that one.
Or you want to do something else?
Oh, I was going to do the stuck up suit, and there was another one that I saw pop up that I grabbed. But I can also do your dirty dive bomber. Dirty dive bar.
I can't believe they're waiting a whole entire year for Hidden Legacy. I think it's because it didn't hit hard.
Oh my god, it's killing me. Like absolutely freaking killing me. And then it's like you started one series, you have me waiting for it. And then you started another series, and I'm waiting for that one too. And then the current series that I'm waiting for, I have to wait a year for that too. So I waited for a book for four different series from one author to come out.
You know what? Here's the thing. If I could go back in time and take back all the words in the Edge series and recollect them for the time and energy and then pump them into Innkeeper, because those two are actually good. I think we would be happier, or even a new Kate Daniels World book.
Well, since they started this new series, the Lone Grey Wolf series, or whatever it's called, like it's another series, and then you have the Hidden Legacy, which is another series, and then then you have Innkeeper, which is another series, and then you have Kate Daniels, which is another series, and it's just like
too many series.
I need give me a book from that series before the end of this year, and I might not explode.
We actually no. Okay, here's the thing. They've given us 2 books this year already, technically. No, 3, almost 3 books this year, bitch.
No, they gave us Hidden Legacy was last year. And not unless you still measure the years as school years, then no, they haven't.
Yes, actually I do. I just never stopped. No, but I was actually talking about,
because you got the book right there, the book
Magic Blinds.
Star. Well, there's Magic Stars. Magic Blinds I thought came out last year.
Magic Blinds came out. Magic Blinds isn't out yet. It's book 9. Kate's father Roland has kidnapped the demigod Simon.
Magic Binds. You said blind.
Yeah, Magic
Binds. Binds.
Binds. You up. Yeah, Magic Binds.
Okay. So, and that's not until August? I think. See, Bitter Bitch is about to happen. Watch, because I'll end up hitting my level 11, which won't be as explosive as her level 11, but it's quite shocking. I promise you. September. It's expected to be out in September. Expected.
Yeah.
In September.
And then so that's 1 book. And then Magic Stars was sort of on the borderline, and I'm gonna give it to them.
But it's a short book. It's
a short book, and that was it was like December, so I'm giving it to them. And I'm giving it, Plus, I didn't read it until like later on accident because I didn't realize it was there. I was like fan watching, like breathing slowly, against somebody's neck, but I somehow missed it. And then Innkeeper Chronicles was December 2, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah, it was.
There's like
November. It was November. So yeah, I guess I'm not gonna give that to them. Yeah, I'm not giving that to them.
So pretty much our next book isn't until September.
Yeah. It's upsetting.
I'm sad.
Because we can't go one show. Obviously, we're fiending because we can't go one show without fucking talking about it.
Addiction is real, y'all. Addiction is real.
I'll be fiending. The worst part is when the series is about to come out, me and you will probably be sitting there reading the whole entire thing.
I do it every single time.
All over again.
It's horrible.
In a massive bookie binge from hell, because the series is so long if you take the adjunct books as well too, because I actually started, like, in my book binging, I actually started adding in the short stories as well.
There's some short stories that I actually won't redo. I don't really like the short stories with Jim and
me neither. I like Dahlia, but I don't like Jim.
Dahlia makes me think of Raven. I can't help it. Every time I read about Dahlia, I'm just like, oh my god, that's Raven.
But I like Dahlia a lot.
A carnivore shifter who doesn't like the sight of blood.
But I like Dahlia. I like Dahlia a lot. She's a lot of fun. She's a lot of fun. Okay, so this is gonna piss you off.
Why are you always keeping to piss me off?
Because do you remember that book we read that we were talking about? The first book that we actually really just went nuts about, like how we couldn't ever get any urban fantasy, and the ones that they give us was like books about chicks who are freaking drug addicts. So I think that chick with the drug addict book might be coming out with a new book.
Jesse,
because she stopped
Putnam or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that series was fucked up. And it was like she was fucking one drug dealer, and then she was fucking the enforcer of the other drug dealer, and she didn't care because they were both getting her drugs. And then she caught feels for the enforcer of her old drug dealer, but was still kind of still fucking around with the new drug dealer. But then the enforcer found out about the new drug dealer, and
it was a hot mess.
It was so very much a hot mess. I'm like, why is this bitch the lead of the book? Can we just kill her off with a hot shot, please?
I don't mind promiscuous characters and anti-heroes. But drug addicts are where I draw the line because they never make any sense.
And it's like it wasn't like she wanted a pill. She needed a pill to be able to do her job. She needed a pill to be able to come down from her job. She needed to be on pills to function, period.
Yeah, day-to-day. Yeah, that which makes her a what? An addict.
Yes, a junkie.
Yeah, actually, she was past addict and well into junkie. Well, it was
one dude she was banging just for the drugs.
I think there was this one scene where she's high and banging him or something.
Oh, and he kept calling her Tulip because he saw her tattoo.
Yeah, and the author was trying to make us like care and then sexually it's like excited at the same time, and I'm like, this is just disgusting.
Like she's a crack hoe, and you trying to make it nice, and it ain't nice. She's still a crack.
I almost want to say that this author has never seen anybody on drugs ever in their life.
I don't know. There's this one scene. She's like in her drug dealer's house. She's like, "Oh, come on, please. I need it. Come on." And I'm like, "Oh, she really is like a fiender." Ew.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Nobody who has ever like been sober around crackheads, like been the sober person in the room, has ever been sexually excited by that unless it's a dude.
And then it's like, I could probably get her to do whatever I want.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you don't get sexually excited by that. It's not sexy. It never is sexy.
Well, it's like, when I'm reading urban fantasy and I'm looking for like, a powerful heroine, I don't want her to actually be on heroin. Just saying. Like this chick was like a mess. And it's like, how can you like write this? Like, I don't like directly bashing an author, but and then there's a following for this series too, like a pretty interesting following. I think it's the same people that follow Anita Blake, I'm just saying. But there's a following for this series.
Every other show, somehow there's a bash to Anita Blake. without freaking fail.
And without shame either. No shame.
Anita Blake. Technically speaking, the first 4 Anita Blake books, I think first 3 or 4 of them aren't that bad. They're
first
actually
6,
pretty good.
I can even honestly say the first 6 aren't bad.
I think you're being a little you're being a little too nice. It's a little too nice.
Oh, Raven got further than I did.
I read the whole series. I read every single Anita Blake book. I read them all.
I stopped when she got trampy.
This is no. What you read and where you stopped at was not trampy.
Yeah, I wasn't even getting there yet. That's the worst part. It's like, I respected I respected Anita Blake's whole thing, about abstaining and actually sticking to it. And it was so cool, and I was totally respecting her. And then it's like, hey, who do we fuck first, the vampire or the werewolf?
No. You don't understand, because you don't understand how far the book went. It stopped even being sexually arousing. It turned into like a gangbang.
Well, yeah, like the last book, for what Raven told me, was like a 3-way marriage. She's like in a troupple.
I don't have a problem with the 3-way marriage. What I have a problem is, in order for Anita Blake to not change shape and not be in pain, she has to get another shifter to take the animal inside themselves. So what happened was she started gathering together on accident, people kept infecting her with new strains of the shifter virus. So she had to get like a fucking 20, 30 men. I kid you not. And all of them different cats, different wolves, all that stuff. So she had a wolf, she had she had a cat,
Did
she had
she
a
ever
tiger.
fuck the swan? She didn't fuck the swan, did she?
No, she didn't.
A swan.
She didn't fuck the swan, and she doesn't have a swan virus in her. But she had to, and it was like, you know how I enjoy reading train wrecks?
Yes, I do.
It was one pussy to rule them all.
Oh my god.
It's just like she had almost every single shifter. She had a dude to fuck. It was one pussy to rule them all.
This is so dirty.
And like sometimes she'd be fucking a dude, and then the other dudes would pull out, and then the other one would come in.
Oh my god.
It's like a gangbang.
That's just too much. That's too much.
It was like a train wreck. There was nothing sexually arousing about it. There was
probably flops in the wind now.
It was so. At one point, she even got pregnant, and she thought that she had like a false pregnancy or something, and she thought she had false pregnancy of possible twins because it was like 2 empty sacs or something.
Oh wow!
And so she thought that one was inside her system. She had like 2 different viruses, the vampire virus and the shifter virus. So she thought the wolf was gonna eat the vampire inside of her. I was like, ugh. And she didn't know who the daddy was.
Oh my god!
So, because such a hot mess.
Oh my god!
You're always attracted to the vampire guy, and I was like, I was never attracted to the vampire guy.
Well, I wasn't really attracted to him. The whole thing was he was the only one that was really honest to her from where I was reading, from like the point that I was reading at. He was always like the one that was straightforward with her when he would just I'm gonna fuck you over, okay. And he was honest, where it's like the little fucking Omega wannabe alpha fucking werewolf was like,
he was a terrible character.
He was just a hot fucking mess.
Because originally, I think what she was going to do is she was going to have a 3-way between the 3 of them. But she hated that wolf guy so much when she got that divorce.
Yeah.
She couldn't write it. And so, oh God. Her other series is actually a much better blend of males, even though it's a harem series. And I don't have a problem with the harem series if I know it's a harem series going in. Do you know what I mean?
I'm all about the reverse harem.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the reverse. It is completely a reverse harem. She fucks all the dudes, and she has all the dudes' babies or whatever, or mixy, halfy babies, or whatever the fuck whatever.
Oh, that's a bit much. I like the traditional reverse harem where there's like at least like 2 to 3 romantic options. Then there's the brother type, there's the best friend type, and then there's like the quote unquote father type.
That's what she has in the series. Yeah,
but
she fucks them all.
But see, I'm more in the traditional where she's not fucking them all. It's between the 2 to 3 romantic options, and then the brother type, the best friend type, and the father type are completely separate from those she fucks. Huge example, or in High School Host Club. Her romantic options were Hikaru, Tamaki, and then you had Karu, and you had Kyoya, and you had Mori, and you had Honey, and she wasn't trying to hook up with them.
I would say that there was some overtones with Koya. Koya.
There was one episode that there was an overtone, and it wasn't even a real overtone, though it really did make Koya like my favorite character.
Yeah.
But you know, another example of brothers conflict where she has like what 12, 13 to choose from.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but there's only 4 romantic possibilities out of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, and then there's the different nurturing male types that are there to back her up no matter what her decision is. Like, I much prefer that instead of like one chick fucking all the dudes. Like, I don't know. I for me, my life is a reverse harem. Like, my best friends are guys, and I just happen to have a habit where, you know, my 2 best friends are like the least attractive men I know. Love you guys. And
we're not gonna don't listen to this show.
Well, one of them's sleeping and the other one is probably at his girlfriend's, so he's not even getting good interwebs anyway, so it's okay. But you know, it's just, I don't know. I like the traditional reverse harem, and I don't really care for the whole let's fuck them all, because you know what, Kegel exercises only work so much for so long.
Okay, the other series we were talking about was Mary Gentry, which is a series that isn't quite as popular for various reasons. Mainly because it's popular. It's more popular than most urban fantasy books, though. Let me read. It's more popular than most urban fantasy books, but it's not as popular as her Anita Blake series. And it's about a princess who goes in a fae princess who goes into hiding, but she's half fae, and she's a certain type of half fae. Like, she's not half fae, but she's a fae with a defect of death, which fae aren't supposed to have. At the same time, she is also a fertility fae, which means, since, you know, fae always have trouble, you know, in most books, procreating.
What is she, the female Acheron? Can give and take life?
Yes. Well, no, she can't. Well, actually, yeah, she can. Her I think more magical powers of killing folk than Acheron's. You know, everything. You know, Acheron's word is absolute, and if Acheron's word becomes fallible, then the world ends, or something like that.
Well, that was his last. That was his last gift from his mother, was making him the final fate. But before that, his mother Apollonie is the goddess of destruction. His father was the goddess of life.
Yeah,
he was the god of life. So yeah. He already was given and taken life, and then she made him the final fate and set it all up. So yeah. She fucks him.
Well, eventually she'll just go. Eventually he'll destroy the world, and you know, we won't be around to find out.
I don't think he will.
Yay!
I believe in Acheron. I believe in him. I love you, Ashimu.
Maybe the human race wipes itself out, and she comes back to Earth, and you know, Acheron's family survives, and then
there's only one person in danger of destroying the world right now in the Dark Hunter series. Only one. Nick Gaucher.
Oh God. But she's like a princess and a fertility goddess, and then she has triplets. And everybody's trying to take her triplets because, you know, her kids will also be, you know, because they come from fae, they will also be having her powers, but possibly not the bad part of her powers. And so I think the main problem here
is
the series is this, it's a hot mess. I hate that it's called urban fantasy because it's really not. It's like paranormal romance because there is no urban fantasy to it. There is no adventure. There is no, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There is no underlying story that is actually the main story. The main story is whatever love thing that they're wrapping around, wrapping around a plot. I wouldn't call this exactly urban fantasy. At the same time, though, I get why people are into this sort of Anita Blake getting down shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Anita Blake became really, really popular when she started getting down, correct? When it accidentally switched into erotic fantasy.
Yeah.
Because then the series blew up because that was before erotic fantasy was erotic fantasy. Let me see. It was number 6 that it started going weird?
Yeah. Between like 6 and 8, somewhere around there. This is probably one of our longest shows.
No, it's only an hour. Oh, time to wrap it up.
Real quick, I just finished the Korean drama Descendants of the Sun. Yeah, I know if y'all stuck on Drama Fever, then you're still waiting for episodes. However, it's already completed on Viki. Also, the new drama that just started called The Entertainer with Ji Sung. If you guys are K-drama fans, he was in Kill Me, Heal Me. Also in Protect the Boss, which is my kid's actual favorite. My favorite is Kill Me, Heal Me. Also in The Entertainer is Kang Min Hyuk from CN Blue fame. So CN Blue, Korean pop group. He's the drummer, for those who don't know. Anyway, he was also in Airs and a bunch of others, so check him out. The Entertainer.
So, in conclusion, find a good porny book. 1. Come back and talk to us about the porny book. 2. And read the fucking show notes, asshole. Read the show notes. But thank you so much for subscribing to us. Thank you for everything, and peace out.
Thank you to listen to our ramblings. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Me and Boo. Bye. Bye. Boom.